Beautiful day outside. It's actually in the high 80s. Nice and bright. So today I'm going to be changing the fuel filter on my 93 Civic. I still run one of these OEM fuel filters, and I change them out every year just to make sure there is no buildup inside. I always recommend doing this when the car is cold. First thing I'm going to do is loosen up this guy here and then move on to trying to take the filter out. So let's loosen that first fitting out of the way. Okay, like I said, this car is cold. There should be no pressure in the fuel system, and as you can see on this gauge here, it doesn't show any. So I'm going to try to set you guys down somewhere. So this fitting should be lefty-loosey. Wow, that's no joke. Get yourself a rag, because she's gonna drip a little. Okay, once you get it loose, it'll just pull out, as you can see. Okay, so the bolt to loosen this strap that holds the fuel filter in is back there, and that's kind of a pain to get to. So I'm just going to take the bracket off, those 3 bolts in one nut, or 2 bolts in one nut, and that should be able to make it easier to get to that 1 bolt back there. So let me do that. One. 2. Last one. Okay, so I got to take this fitting off. As you can see there. I think what I'm going to do is just pull this fitting off right here, this nut attached to the hose. I'm going to loosen that and go from there. Again, you're going to get some fuel spilling out, so get yourself a rag. Okay, and there's my filter. That's the bolt I was talking about against the firewall. So I got aftermarket fittings on the exit side of the fuel filter. If you still got your stock hoses or fittings, you know, yours is going to look a little different, but it's basically the same thing. You just pretty much take this off. You're going to get some new crush washers. Definitely replace your crush washers every time you do a fuel filter or anything that has a crush washer. Once you squeeze these down, they don't do so well when you try to use them again. So, all right, so I'm gonna take this fitting off next. I'm gonna use a small impact to take it off. Okay, here's the fitting I took off the filter. The new filter comes with these little covers. Just take them out. Now again, always replace your crush washers. Got the fitting on there. I'm going to keep that cover on there until I'm ready to put that hose back in. My next step is going to be taking this strap off the actual bracket and taking this old filter off. And again, it's just one bolt. And you should be able to just open that up, and there's a notch that you just slide out of. Now just so you know, when you pull these out, they're full of fuel, so just be careful. Now what you want to do on this bracket, there's a little bump here, and that lines up with this in-groove on the filter. There's more than one, but this bracket goes on the firewall like so. So what you want to do is kind of get the filter in the direction that it's supposed to go. Both of my lines are about so. So this is the only notch that fits going in that direction. So again, you have your clamp, and that point at the end of your clamp goes into this notch where this square cutout. Hook into it. Better yet, put it over the filter first, hook into it. You might have to jiggle the filter around, but it'll go into place. And when you're in the right spot, your clamp should be pretty much against your bracket. And I'm just going to try to tighten this one fitting one last time, just to make sure. Okay. So let's bolt this back in. So what I'm going to start with is this line again, the last one that came off. I'm just going to hand or finger tighten this. Okay, my next step is to put this fitting back in the filter. Now I didn't install this bracket back onto the car, I just left it all loose just so I can move it around and not cross thread this fitting. And again, finger tight. I got this one line finger tight. Now I'm just going to install my bolts and my one nut back in. I'm going to tighten up this fitting first. And I'm going to tighten up this hose next. Now just wipe everything down. We're going to start up the car. You're going to want to leave the hood open and just check for any leaks. Just make sure you have no leaks going. And just run the car for about 5 minutes or so and make sure there's no leaks. If there is a leak, just snug up those fittings that you loosened up and you should be good to go. And just so you guys know, this is the part number that was given to me. Okay, just so you guys know.